All right, this is my second big batch of products to open today. These I call the regular dad products. These aren't the real man products, like the right angle grinders and die grinders and circular saws and all that stuff we shot yesterday. So this is kind of a hodgepodge of some different stuff, a heat gun and a planer and some cameras and routers and stuff like that. So we're gonna run through this. It's kind of the hodgepodge of the products I have left over to unbox and figure out what makes sense to carry in the Obsessed Garage door, but kind of working through this, brief unboxing of each product, and then we'll start to deep dive into the stuff a little bit later. So let's just get into it. So I have this, and I've had this for a number of years, and I think it makes more sense to have the M12 version of this than the M18. But this is a multi-tool. And I find myself, when I get into trouble in a project, like for instance my desk behind the camera here, I needed to trim out a little hole and notch out a little hole in the baseboard. And without having to use like a hammer and chisel, what other way to do that than to use something like this? This little multi-tool is super, super handy to have. It's not something I use every day, but it's something that I do enjoy having when I need it. Now they don't make this in a fuel version. They only make this in the M12 base version. I'm hoping someday they make it into fuel, but for now, this is what we got. So, this thing has 12 speeds and has a couple of different uses. I've never actually used the sanding function of this. What I generally end up using, and I have a couple of other tools, and we'll be getting accessories for these in the future. But the way I ended up using this multi-tool is using this thing. And I'll spare you the pain of watching me fumble and put this on here. But essentially what the tool does is, creates a little saw, so it moves back and forth at super high speeds at up to 20,000 oscillations per minute, and then you use this thing to cut a notch out your baseboard, or cut off something that needs to be cut off. I've cut through like plexi, I've cut through drywall, cut through all different kinds of parts and pieces of things that I needed to clean up for some project. I've used it on metal on my cabinets, trying to notch that out. So it's a overall rather useful tool for fixing mistakes, usually. Comes with the M12 charger, and comes with 2 batteries. So this is a 2-2 kit, and so the way that these things work, the way the model numbers work, is if you want, let's jam that in there. If you want to buy the tool with batteries, if it has a 2-2, then it comes with 2 batteries. If it's a 2-1, it comes with 1 battery. If it's a 2-0, it's the tool only. And so the price of this is $169. So not super expensive. That's $169 for the tool. If you buy it as a 2-1, you can buy it with 1 battery, is $149, and then $79 for no batteries if you buy just the tool only. So again, it's a brushed tool. There's brushes in here that would need to be replaced after a certain number of hours. But this particular thing, again, I've had it in my cabinet for a long time. And I bought some accessories for mine, so here's mine here to prove it to you. It's got paint on it. It's got an old red lithium battery. This one comes with a CP 1.5 battery, which I'm assuming this is probably a 1.5 as well. Let's see, 12 volt. It doesn't say. But notice I've got a plunge cut wood bit or tool on here. And does the job. And so there's a bunch of different accessories. So my intention with this project is to get through all the tools first, select the tools, and then we're going to build out a suite of accessories that people may need for their Milwaukee tool set. so that we have a complete end-to-end solution available to you in the not too distant future. So that's the plan here with this whole project. Let's just keep this organized. Let's put all this stuff back in the box. And let's put my tool away. And let's keep working through here. So we'll take a look at the M18 version of this in a minute. But we'll take a look at what that looks like and compare. But I'm pretty sure the M12 makes more sense. I don't think you need a ton of power with this particular tool. All right, next tool, which I don't have, which I'm kind of excited to try out, is basically a, I know Dremel. Dremel is like saying Kleenex. Dremel is a brand, but a rotary tool kit. So this would be a replacement for your corded Dremel, which I always find to be such a pain in the butt. The question is, we would need to get some, an accessory kit for this. But this is a little rotary tool that I don't think comes with a lot of stuff. Yeah, it comes with a couple of cutoff discs, a little cutoff disc, but I think you would want a suite of tools to make this thing function best. There's all kinds of little things, like think about how useful a Dremel is. So we'll have to build out an accessory kit. But this one, let's see here, where is it? I think it's on this sheet. So yeah, it's 119 bucks. It only comes with one battery, CP 1.5 battery. Only comes in a brushed tool, or a brushed tool, non-brushless. So they don't make a fuel version of this. But this is our variable speed Dremel, basically. Which, if we can build out a nice kit for this, with a bunch of accessories, a bunch of tools that make this thing useful, I'm kind of excited about, having a combo of some little specialty tools like this in my cabinet that, again, you'll use once or twice a year, but when you need it, could be freaking awesome. I just wish it was a nice looking gunmetal versioned fuel. I wish they had that, but they don't. So that's the Dremel version. Now we have a little soldering iron. The thing I do like about this is that I'm thinking I'm probably going to want all of these in my cabinet, would be to have a nice little matching set of all these little accessory type tools. At least they all match. Again, no fuel version of this. This is 149 bucks as you see it, as a one battery kit. And one thing I haven't done, I haven't used this tool, so I don't know how functional it is. I would suspect this is pretty easy to do battery powered. I have had really good success with my Milwaukee, which I'll show you in a minute, the heat gun. So I'm assuming this will do a decent enough job. So something to let you know it's heating up. And then this comes as a CP 1.5 battery. Charger. Yeah, this is something I'd be inclined to just buy the tool only. So all of these I would probably buy tool only versions and then just use my better batteries from all my M12 fuel stuff, which come with multiple batteries. So I'd be inclined to buy this. So the red light stays on, letting you know that it was hot. And they give you two tips. A direct tip. I don't want to stick my tongue on there to see if it's still hot. This thing looks super functional though. I mean, to really work with it and not have a power cord, I think that could be really sweet. I like that. What I'm more proud of is that I got all these tools out at the same time. Having to sift through, this is partially intentional, but also partially by accident that I'm opening these all up and they all kind of match. I'm opening them up at the same time. All right, so let's save our cameras here for the end. Here's another interesting tool. Now this is a fuel version. Looks like a brand new tool. The branding looks brand new, but this is a compact router. This is 179 bucks. They don't sell this with batteries. It comes as a tool only. And again, I don't do a lot of woodworking stuff. There's our vacuum attachment. But, yeah, a little shielded vacuum attachment for it. But I would think that this thing could be useful even in a non-woodworking guy's cabinet to have, you know, if needed. There's another little safety shield, I'm assuming. It comes with it. Let's just see. This thing looks pretty nice. Yeah, that thing's freaking cool looking. So there's our attachment so that we can screw on our bit. Let's see what it comes with here. I'm in way over my head at discussing a router. This would be something I'd figure out how to use when I knew I needed to round off the edge of something. Like I could have used something like this when I was building my subwoofers. So the question is, are they giving you, yeah, they're giving you a couple of different routing bits, which you would put in place. We'll save this for another day. But that little guy looks nice, man. Let me grab a battery. Let's put a big HD battery on this sucker. I don't think you would need this. Set your depth, speed. Yeah, I have no idea how to use this thing, but man, I think it would be pretty sweet. So you can set your routing insert depth. That's freaking cool looking. I want this thing. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with it, Kyle, but I want one.
I like it.
Look at that.
It's so much easier to use than the giant things.
Yeah, this thing would be great. You know, for the minimal, like, just, you know, rounding off the edge of something to clean it up. We'll just have to figure out what parts, like, I don't even know how to screw the darn bit in there. It's cool, I want one. See, that's what I can tell by touching this stuff. Like, the question is, do I want it or do I not? The answer is usually pretty clear to me. Do I want it? Yes. Okay, now if I want it, now I'm gonna figure out how to use it later. You can say what you want. But that's what makes me wake up in the morning excited. If you knew everything in this world, then what the heck are you gonna do every day? So I like to figure stuff out, but this little guy's freaking cool. I probably like it more because it's a fuel. If it wasn't fuel, I probably wouldn't like it as much. So we'll add that to the arsenal. Next up, I have this thing too. Forget why I bought it. I bought it for some stupid reason, something I was trying to fix. Again, they don't make this in a fuel tool either, and they only make it in M18, but this is a little palm sander. And what was I sanding? I don't remember, but I know I needed one. So it comes with a bunch of vacuum attachment stuff. It comes with an M12, M18 charger. This is 219 bucks as the kit. And the reason for that is because it comes with a pretty hefty battery. Yeah, it comes with a 2-1. I think I bought the tool. The tool only is 99 bucks. So in this version, this package, quite a bit more expensive, but you're getting a 3.0 battery. And so, oh, you know what? I don't have this one. I have the corded one. That's right. The corded one's a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't have this one. I do now. I think this will probably stay in my cabinet. Kind of matching my other nerd dad tools that every nerd dad needs just in case. Case of something. It's just a little orbital sander. 1200 oscillations per minute. I would guess this is probably something like a 3mm orbit or something like that. But and then you have your exhaust section, so you can put a vacuum attachment. And you can either use the vacuum attachment here, or you can put the little filter, little catch can on the end of it. I like that. I like that little guy. Let's put that on there just so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, for 200 bucks, battery powered, way better than corded. Yeah, that's where it's at. I don't think it comes with any sandpaper, so you'd have to buy, yeah, you'd have to buy your own sandpaper accessory. Oh no, there's one, there you go. Comes with a couple of 80 grit pads. 80, not pads, but you know what I'm saying, discs. They both look like they're 80 grit. 80 grit, 80 grit, yeah. For when you do some sort of nerd dad project on a weekend, this will come in handy. I don't know that if I was a serious woodworker, I'm certain there's going to be some high-end tools. But in the Milwaukee ecosystem, you know, these certainly don't look like they're flagship, like they're not chasing these very hard. So the question is this worth a couple $100 bucks? We'll answer that as time goes on, but I think I'm going to keep that in my cabinet. Okay, that's our sander. Planar. I don't know if I need this, but let's check it out. I bought one, so let's see. So this M18 planer, they don't make this in a fuel. This is a 3 1/4 inch planer kit. Shoot, it weighs it's almost 8 pounds, this sucker. And this is a 2623-21, so this is the kit. And I didn't write the price down. Shoot. This stuff is kind of fun to open up and see what's what. That's pretty neat. So there's our blade. Attachment for vacuum. This one comes with, I believe, an XC 3.0 battery. Oh wow, this is old school Milwaukee. This is just an XC. It doesn't give you the amp hour rating, it's just a plain old XC battery. So I suspect they don't sell very many of these anymore. It's never been updated. Has a green dot on it, I don't know what that means. It's the first tool I've opened up that has a green dot. Comes with an M12 M18 charger. Comes with whatever that little plate is. Not sure. And then let's see. Yeah, there's no hose. I guess this is just for a general vacuum attachment on each side. I have to pull both of these. Or I just have no charge. That's why. Let's not. So you can do some damage with that thing. Cool. Stick the battery out before we plane our lift here. That battery's dead. Yeah, I don't think I have any need for a planer. Who knows? Alright, let's keep rolling here. Feel like a disinterested kid on Christmas. I just want to get through them all. Too many cool things to look at that I don't know much about. Alright, so here's the M18 version of the multi-tool, which I don't know, I just can't see needing a bigger, heavier tool. I guess you would choose this one if you had only M18 stuff. But I think I already know the answer to this. I think I'd rather just stick with the M12. So, same package of gear. Now this one comes with a wood plunge cut tool. Good news is the Looks like the head pattern is the same, so you could use the same stuff on it. But again, they don't make a brushless version of this. They only make the base M18. No fuel version. Comes with an XC 3.0 battery. Yeah. So I mean, which would you rather have? I picked this one. But in the interest of wasting as much money as I could possibly waste, I got them all. Just to open it up for 30 seconds and then ship it out. I wouldn't advise that to most of you. It's my job to waste money on a tool that I was pretty sure I didn't want. But now we know. Okay. Next up is, oh yeah, this little cutout tool. So I think that this might actually be more useful than the multi-tool. They don't make this in M12, only M18. This sucker is 329 bucks as a 2.2. Yeah, so it comes with 2 batteries. What else does it come with? Not sure. So this guy, I think you would use on drywall most often, where you can kind of hold it, and I guess it could complement, because you could buy some bits and some pieces to make this do the same thing. But this is a very specific cutout tool. 2 batteries. I don't know if they give you, yeah, they do give you a couple of bits. It's basically a drill bit with a little different angle to the blade. Let's put the blade in. Let's put one in first before we put the battery on. Yeah, I want this one too, to make my little set. Yeah, so it's just a drill bit with a little different, whatever you call that, spiral pattern. And how do you do this? Lock it. Unscrew it, so you can put the bit in, sink it to the appropriate depth, tighten it down, shoot, using a little tool here. They give you an extra, looks like an extra piece, I think. Make sure we're in. Yeah, I like this. Interesting trigger, it's down here, on your pinky. Now I can cut through stuff. I like that. I wish they made this little guy in a, I guess you could say M12, because you could, I wonder, you could probably put this same bit. Yeah, you can get these, put these same things in here in your Dremel tool. Now you need a smaller one. Same idea, you just need the right size. I think this is a little fat and a little big for this tool. Why is mine not locking? Oh, it's reverse. Yeah, that would work. So you do something like that. So we'll accessorize these out. So I guess I have to think about this. I don't know. Let's keep going. So, if you haven't watched the rest of the series, the goal of this is not to solve the world's problems right now. This is an unboxing, brief unboxing. I don't read the instructions. I just want to get hands on all this stuff. And then afterwards, after the videos, I generally sit here and kind of hem and haw over it for a few hours, and then figure out what I like and what I don't like. And then we're going to build out a product line of choices. Because, you know, one of the problems I've always struggled with this, and the reason why I'm doing this is, you go to Home Depot and you're just getting whatever Home Depot decided, instead of, man, I doubt Home Depot's even done this, gone through this whole project. All right, so next up is a tool that I've been using for quite some time. You've seen this in many videos. Again, they don't make this in a fuel version either, but this is a heat gun. This thing's freaking awesome. Makes using a heat gun not annoying. So this one is rather costly, but I think it's worth it. So it's $299 as a kit, $129 if you buy it, you know, without the battery. I mean, this is the XE 5.0 battery. So the bigger the battery on this, the better. So, you know, this is where, you know, having some of your big, you know, 6, 7, or 6, 9, 12 amp hour batteries, it still has some pretty good balance, even with this is a, you know, a $200 or $180 battery. But this thing heats up really quickly, and it's actually pretty darn efficient. I love this thing. So this, I already bought quantity of. It's already up in the store. So I know that you want one of these. I love that thing. I just wish it was pretty, a big pretty fuel version. But yeah, I think you want one of these for sure. I know I do. Just kind of set that on the side here. Yeah, so like I said, $300 for that, but I think you'll get your use out of it. You'll use it much more often than you would use a corded version. And if you have a bunch of batteries, if you're building out your Milwaukee line of tools, if you've got a bunch of batteries, you can just keep cycling them. I haven't found it to be an issue. Now, here's the one everybody keeps asking me about, which I don't really care much about, but this is a Milwaukee Rotary. My friend John Clevin from Metropolitan Detail is a Rotary guy, and he loves this thing. So this is the Milwaukee Fuel brushless. This sucker is $479. They call it a variable speed polisher kit. Comes with two 5.0 batteries, comes with a, whatever you call that, regular handle. I think this is called a D handle, and then a regular side handle. Here's our backing plate. And then here's the actual machine. So I don't think I will carry this because I'm not a rotary polisher guy, but it certainly looks pretty. I think that they have a dual action polisher on the docket. I don't know, a lot of people get super excited about me talking about this, but I don't see much of a need. I tend to prefer a D handle. Yeah, I would probably want this handle on it. And then you have your backing plate. Not a super awesome looking backing plate. You have your lock here, or to lock your backing plate on. 800 RPM up to 2000 RPM here. You have a trigger lock, so you can lock your trigger in place. Has a dust shield, which they give you an extra one in case you needed that. And then looks like, yeah, these are our D handle screws. We can just put the side handle on here just for our purposes. Let's throw a battery on here real quickly. I'm not sure what that's for. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty lightweight. Nice looking machine. I just don't do rotaries. Yeah, I would want this on the other side. Here. Handle on like so. Pretty good balance. Kind of an annoying high-pitched sound. So that's your rotary polisher for 480 bucks, 280 bucks if you buy it without batteries. And I don't have a lot of interest in a rotary polisher, but it does look pretty nice. I mean, I think I'd choose the Rupes over this, or Flex, but that's just me. Let's keep rolling through here. Our planer off of here. I told you we got a hodgepodge of tools going on here. That is a 7-inch backing plate that it comes with, and then I'm sure you would want to get a better backing plate than that plastic one that comes with it. Okay, let's see, what do we want to do first? Let's do our metal shears, and then we'll get into our cameras, which I think are kind of interesting. So they have 3 different versions. So there's 3 different versions of M18. There's a 18 gauge double cut, there's an 18 gauge single cut, and then there's a 14 gauge double cut. And so this obviously would be to cut off, body panels, pieces of metal. I don't know that I'll ever need. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually seen metal shears in person in my life. So this fits into the real man category, but I don't know where else to put it. So this is the 18 gauge single cut shear kit. This one is a dual batteries 2636-22, and it's 499 bucks or 299 bucks if you buy it without batteries. They don't make any of these in fuel version. Yeesh, thing looks serious. I don't know a darn thing about metal shears. But my guess is if you needed a set, I'm not sure if Milwaukee is going to be the go-to for it. But I wanted to see what it was like anyway. Check it off my list of trying it out. That looks like pretty gnarly. So single cut versus dual cut, and there are 2 batteries in there, by the way. So that's the single. Let's do the dual 18. Double cut. Help me out here, people, in the comments. Single cut, double cut. I'm hoping when I open this up, I'll know what the heck that means. Because I don't. So this is the same price, I think. No, double cut is $439 instead of $499. Yeah, I have no idea. All I know is the blade looks different. Double cut shear. Does that mean it just cuts on the way in and way out, or the up and down? Come on. Here's a bigger, heavier duty one. There's a 14 gauge. So let's see what the 14 gauge looks like. Designed for cutting heavier duty metal. And this one is $4.99 or $2.99 without batteries. All come with 3.0 batteries, XC 3.0. This one is a whole lot heavier duty, it feels heavier. I guess it's not heavier. Just not being a very good judge here. This one is actually lighter. Pretty good balance on these though. So this is a double cut 14 gauge, just heavier duty. I see, so the blades are on blade here, blade there. Whereas this one has just this, has the single sided blade. I have no idea how does that work. So it cuts out a notch like that versus this one is going to cut a single. I see. See the difference there? So the double blade cuts out, you know, whatever the width of that is. I guess that would be 14 gauge, right? Or 18 gauge. I have no idea what you would use this for, other than cutting metal. Interesting. Now let's look at our cameras, which will make a little more sense to me. Now I messed up my box. So let's set these aside. Hopefully not impale ourselves. So I'd assume these are, you know, body shop useful. So I got 3 cameras. So they make 5 cameras. 2 of them, I guess, are back ordered. I've been waiting and waiting, and I'm tired of waiting. And so what we have is 2315, 2316, 2317. Okay, so pricing. So the 2315 is $4.99, the 2316 is $5.79, and the 2317 is $7.99. And so the $499 one, that's this one, is a 3-foot M-Spectre Flex 3-foot inspection camera kit. This one is $7.99. This is a 3-foot with a pivot view camera on the end of it. And then I'm sorry, this was $5.79 on the 16 is a 9-foot. So 3-foot, 9-foot, and then this one has a pivot view 3-foot extension on it. And then they make 2 more, which is they call a 360 cam. There's a 3-foot and a 9-foot, but I don't have those. So anyway, let's start with the cheap one, the $499 one. Let's see what this one looks like, and we'll look at the others. And what I suspect is if I love this thing and we start carrying it in the store, we'll probably have a whole video just on this tool, but I don't know. So this is when you lose something in the, you know, you drop a socket down in the engine bay and you start looking for it. You're trying to see inside of a wall or something like that. What do I do with my knife? Who knows? but my guess is something like this will come in handy. And it comes CP 1.5. My guess is this probably isn't super battery hungry, but what do I know? So let's turn it on. You have an SD card, so I guess you can record. Comes with a little 8 gigabyte card, a USB connection. There we go. Screen's coming on. M-Spectre Flex. Oh, cool. So you got a little camera. What does the trigger do? Is that for taking a picture? Yeah, that's to take a picture. It's not a touch screen, Matt. Cancel. So you can rotate the view. Looks like a old school security camera. And you can turn the little light on, so the light's on. Check it out. It's kind of dark. Yeah, fun little gadget for 500 bucks. I don't know. Maybe if you're a plumber or something. Let's look at some of the fancier ones. So then this one for 180 bucks more, it's just going to have a longer cable. Well, we got it. Let's open it. I feel like I'm just making a huge mess here today. But look at my cabinets behind us. It's emptying up. Those are all products we chose, so those will be going in the system here soon, and then going in my cabinet. Do some sonic cabinet reorganization. Then we're going to figure out how to tool grid these or Kaizen foam these, and yeah, so this is just same deal, just a longer 9-foot cable, which I think at times will be useful, but other times will be annoying, and that you'll have a longer cable you have to deal with. But if you needed to snake down a longer path, could be useful. So there's the 9-foot version. Now let's take a look at the one with the pivot view. Yeah, so I mean these cameras are already borderline. The quality is kind of very dot matrixy. These aren't 4K HD cams on this little thing. So I don't think I would want any cheaper one. Let's see how this one works. So this one's 800 bucks. It has a little pivoting camera head, so that way when you snake it down into wherever, they only make this in a 3-foot version. But when you snake it down into the spot, this one has a little control unit. This off. I see there's a box. It goes on here. Snaps into place. That's funny. So check it out. You can kind of wiggle it. That's cool. Kind of. Cost you 120 bucks for that little guy. Doesn't that kind of creep you out a little bit? You should think that somebody's spying on you. Makes me think of the movie Tremors. You ever watch Tremors? Those things come out of the ground and their tentacles come out and just kind of peek around. No image signal. Why not? So yeah, you can record your thing on your little SD card on the side. Why do I not have an image signal? Is your handle unit powered on? Yes, it is. Oh, you had to push it all the way in. Rotate, and then I can swivel back and forth. Again, the quality is not so great. It's better up close. See that? It's kind of hard. The camera's probably having a hard time seeing it. You know, I'm used to looking at my screen on the Canon, which looks like crap, but interesting little gadget, but not something I'm feeling super excited about for 800 bucks. It's super ergonomic. Wow, we blew through that real quickly, didn't we? That was the shortest video I've made yet. So, let's see here. What are my conclusions, the short-term conclusions? I think, I don't know that I'll probably keep one of these cameras. I have to figure out which one. Probably just keep one in my cabinet, but I doubt it'll get used very often. But I do like, again, I like this tool, this tool, this tool. I think I'll probably keep a sander as well. I don't know whether I want the M18. I'll keep definitely this. This thing we just use all the time here in the garage. I'll probably keep a router as well. I don't like the polisher. The polisher doesn't really make much sense to me. You know, the question is, would you do both of these? Because you can do the same thing. Let's just look at the spec here on oscillations per minute. So this goes 5, the M12 goes 5 to 32,000 as an 1/8 inch collet. That's universal, weighs 1 pound, 1.3 pounds, versus this is 23, this is 1 speed. No, it can't be 1 speed. Yeah, it is 1 speed. 1 speed only, 28,000. Doesn't say what size the collet, the 1/4 inch collet. So this one has a little bit bigger. So 329 bucks for this sucker. It's just so big. Even this, I mean, I got reasonably sized hands and I can barely reach around, where this is so much lighter. This thing only weighs 1.8 pounds without the battery, so similar weight, but it's just a lot bulkier. It feels like feels a lot more hollow, like there's not as much inside of there. You know, and this guard looks like it comes off. It's just the head of this doesn't seem as useful. So if I have this tool, yeah, I think that's the way I'd go. So I like these because they all match. Having these two for doing sanding and routing, and of course having this specialty tool. I don't think I would keep that. I certainly don't think I need a planer. And then metal shears, I don't think I'll ever use those. And then maybe I would keep, if I was going to keep one of the cameras, I would think, I don't know. What you can do, you can always buy a 9-foot accessory cable. So what I would probably do is buy the 9-foot and buy a separate 3-foot accessory cable, so that way I can have, you know, best of both worlds in one tool. I don't think the pivot one would really be necessary. I doubt that's all that useful. You could just kind of manipulate this. But having a little camera inside the garage, maybe not a bad tool to have. So maybe that 9-foot version, 540 bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tools. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 out of 16. Again, you'll have to keep up with me, obsessedgarage.com, as I formulate the entire, you know, Obsessed Garage package. And then, you know, with this router, we're going to have all the accessories needed. With this, I'm going to carry, you know, if we carry this, I'm going to carry the accessories that needed, sanding, you know, parts and pieces for it, and then we'll sell kits of things. And then like this, we would sell the accessory cable as well as the 9-foot. You know, I want to build out an entire suite of tools for the, you know, the Dremel or the, you know, the Rotary tool. Same thing with the multi-tool, having everything they make for this available that you might need for use. And then who knows, maybe even creating, you know, a soldering kit or something like that with a, you know, a set of, you know, different solders to go with this. Yeah, this thing is, I like this thing a lot. Look at that, super useful. I didn't even think about that. Anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to keep working through this. By the way, I haven't mentioned this. I should mention this more. In the Obsessed Garage Facebook Marketplace is where I'm putting all the tools that I'm not using. So those are the ones that I just unboxed, put it back in a box. So make sure to go check that out, become a member there. That'll help me continue this project by buying off all of my extras. We were exploring the idea of setting up a page at obsessedgarage.com to just take a single photo and not really write a description, but have a, you know, an OG open box marketplace, if you will, so that people can, you know, buy some of these at a discount. The margins on this stuff aren't super high, so you know, getting 20-30% off is not practical, being as the margins are much less than that for me. You know, I am making an investment in this, so I may, you know, sell some of the stuff at a slight loss. But anyway, thanks for watching. Next video, I think, will probably be the nailers, or maybe batteries. We're going to get into batteries here shortly. So all I have are nail guns, staple gun, and then I have the caulking and grease guns to deal with. And then we're going to start getting into accessories probably in a month or so. Go to the website. We're already building out the product line, and then we'll have a big, you know, 50 tool, whatever, however many tools make the cut, and show you the full kit, the full package. Then we'll start making, you know, accessory packs and how many batteries do you need and what accessories you need and all that stuff. So I promise that the fruit of this at the end, if you are interested in Milwaukee Tools, I think it's going to be of value to the world. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. Catch you on the next one.